Will 2-1, A Ward 2-1. I think I agree, man. I think I agree. Um, Ill Will's interesting. I've always fucked with Ill Will, but I guess like since I was always on my well, I don't think it has anything to do with RB. I really don't watch battle rap anymore. I really don't. Someone asked me about it yesterday, and I just don't do it. Like it's really hard for me to get into battles now. I think it's because I don't have much time. You know what I mean? I feel like now that I'm older, I think it's a combination of me being so, knee deep into the game itself that I'm kind of turned off by the sport. I don't know how many, you know, people that are involved in something tend to sit back and then spend their spare time watching the thing that they do, right? So I think it's a combination of me being a battler for so long that I don't really care to watch battle rap anymore. I watch highlights. If I'm hosting events, I'm hosting events. If I'm there in the building, you know what I'm saying? And even then, man, dude, like even when I'm in the building for events that I'm taking part in, if I'm not battling early, there's a chance that I'm not watching any battles before me. And then when I finish a battle, I want to go home. I want to go home. Battle rap events physically are man, they take a toll on you, man. Battle. I don't know if you guys ever been to a live event. Um, but if you ever want to know what it feels like to be at a live event, stand up right now and don't sit for 7 hours. And then yell. Yell every like 5 minutes. Have a couple drinks, smoke, but don't sit down. Tell me how you feel after the first hour. And then times that by 6. That's what it's like to be at a battle event. Being at a battle event, just put a battle on YouTube, put it on your screen. Put it on your screen, and then just stand up and watch it in your house. Don't sit down. And then tell me how you feel. So battle rap events are physically taxing to start out, right? And then I think it's also I'm just older now, so I'm doing more things. I'm busy. I'm a father now. I'm a fiance. I'm a fucking, I'm all these things. So I really don't have time to sit down and watch people rap for 57 minutes, man. I really don't have time. So when it comes to Ill Will and Hitman, my notion as to Ill Will, like who he is as a battler, I know him from when he was on the URL, and then I've seen many clips of him since he's been on RBE. I've never sat down and watched a fucking full battle, man. It's been a long time. But I do feel like I know he's better. I think he's better than Hitman. I think being in that room is interesting too. You know what? I think it's funny, man. With Hitman, I feel like one of his biggest, what's crazy is sometimes your biggest weapons become your biggest downfalls, and I think time has to do with it. So in an era where Hitman Holla was known for being such a great performer, I think I know the battle rap community was very lenient to basic material because that material itself was like peak material, right? So I think there was a time where Hitman can rely on his performance because there was no big evolution in the writing aspect of battle rap, right? You had your multis, you had your punchlines, the birth of, certain styles of landing haymakers and, the pause punchline, stuff. But Hitman could kind of fall back on his ability to perform because that was one of the strongest like things back then. And I feel like now it almost hinders him because it's so hard to impress the community now. It is so hard. Like, bro, you watch. I think one of the funniest things I do is like I'll watch old battles and be like, that joke? What the hell? Who said it, man? Who was the Nick Swartzen? I don't know if you guys know who Nick Swartzen is. He's a stand-up comedian. Funny ass motherfucker. He's been in really great comedy movies. I think one of his bits is how he talked about how like people will hate the Transformers, right? Like nowadays, a Transformers movie comes out, CGI out the ass, everything is just unbelievable, right? And people will be like, nah, movie sucked. Yeah, nah, it was all right. But then if you went to the 1940s and you played the Transformers movie, people's heads would explode. They would bleed out of the ear. They would go, ah, and their fucking heads would just blow up, right? So I feel like that's the same thing with battle rap. So battle rap back then, you know, you didn't need to be intricate because there was no real intricacy. You didn't need to be super layered because there were no layers. It was pre-evolution of battle rap, right? If you took Jay the Nightwing and stuck him in 2010, people's heads would explode. People's heads would explode. They would go, who is this witch? They would think he was a witch. They would burn him at the stake if Jay the Nightwing was in 2010, 2007, something like that. So it's insane how it comes around where it's like Hitman's performance and his attempts at certain things, they don't hit because they're just not good enough right now. Now, here's the funny part about it, right? The small room, if you were to take that and you were to go, all right, well, if Hitman's biggest thing is being a big stage performer, right? And that doesn't seem to be working right now, then you throw him in a small room and it's going to get nasty for him, right? No. I think it's going to do the opposite. I think Hitman shines more in a blue room than he does in a big room. Because you're not going to have room to do the big stage shit. You're going to rely on your rapping and it's going to hit better in an intimate setting. Intimate settings, small room settings, they're really the best, man. I think we all strive for the big stages. You want that look, like I've spoken many times about, like top tier, mid tier, things like that. When you are displayed on a main stage, it's a show of status, right? You get to flex your status. With a big stage comes a big card, most likely a big opponent, yada yada yada, right? But I think where the big stage might have been hurting Hitman lately, because I think he's lost a couple battles very clearly since he's been back. I think the small room kind of settles him down a little bit, and I think he shows out. I do have Ill Will taking the battle because even though I said all of that, Ill Will is the evolution, right? Right? Ill Will is the evolution that I'm talking about, where nowadays writing is just so much better. And it's like trying to convince, it's like asking, oh man, I don't mean disrespect by it. And battle rap is battle rap 100%. Hitman can wind up 30ing Ill Will. But I feel like asking Hitman to beat Ill Will in a small room is like asking Babe Ruth to beat Albert Pujols in a home run derby. Like it's so different now that even if he adjusted, that's Ill Will's wheelhouse, right? So I got Ill Will 2-1. I got Ill Will 2-1. Right? I appreciate y'all in the chat, man. I'm seeing all the comments. I'm gonna get to them. I just want to get to this. A Ward and A Verb. It's going to be an interesting one. Like, dude, A Verb reminds me a lot of Arsenal, and I don't mean this as like a disrespectful thing, but he tends to be hit or miss, but when he hits, it's the most dangerous motherfucker in the game, right? Arsenal, a lot of people clown Arsenal because he has moments where he either doesn't care or, he just has lackluster performances, but then at any given point, Arsenal's the best rapper in the world. How many times has that happened? How many times has Arsenal had a battle and in the middle of like the second round, you're like, Arsenal's the best. Arsenal's the best rapper. He's the best rapper. He's got the best cadence. He's got the best performance. He's got the best this, best that. Right? So where Verb might have fell short a few times over the course of maybe the last like few years, When he hits, perfect example, that one rounder versus Hollow, I mean, dude, he was incredible. He was fucking incredible. I thought he did his thing versus who was it? Easy as well? Thought he did his thing versus Easy as well. So at any given point, Verb can be the most dangerous person in the room, right? A-Ward is a fucking dog. There's a lot that rides on this. You know, I thought there was a lot of pressure on Swamp and Verb. I think there's more pressure with this Verb and Ward situation. I think there's more pressure for both of them to perform. I think more on Averb's part because he's made it so clear. He has tried to make it so clear that A-Ward doesn't even deserve to be standing across from him, that now that he is standing across from him, you have to make an example out of him. And I don't know if you guys think like this, but is a debatable battle a loss for Verb, right? When you put enough pressure, perfect example, B. Dot and Holmesy before the face-off. B. Dot put the most pressure I've ever seen a battler put on themselves before a battle. B. Dot was in the face-off explaining for 15 minutes why there was absolutely no way Holmesy could win that battle. Absolutely no way. As battle rap is, he put so much pressure on himself. Verb's whole stance towards A-Ward is, you don't even deserve to be on a card that I'm on. And now you're standing across from him. That's a lot of pressure. Now, I don't know if Verb feels that pressure. And I think he would laugh at that. I think he would laugh at that notion that he feels pressure from A-Ward. But it's there. It's there. It doesn't need to be in his system, but it can definitely be a storyline because he's made it so, right? So I feel like that almost kind of relaxes Ward. I think Ward is out to kill him. I think Ward wants to kill him, obviously, especially when you have somebody in your region that you look up to that disrespects you in the way that he does, whether Verb does it to help or hurt Ward, whether he believes it truly. I don't know if Verb truly believes, and I think that kind of shows in the fact that they're booked in the first place. I think if Verb truly believed he wasn't supposed to be a part of the cool table, I think if Verb truly believed that, I don't think he would have taken the battle. But I feel like all the things that Verb has said kind of loosens Ward up a little bit. You know, he's in a win-win situation, right? If he loses, then right, I guess he was supposed to, right? This is gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a good battle.